Hi, this is Joe McNally for AdoramaTV, and in this segment I'm going to talk about using speedlights in the studio through an umbrella, but in a very controlled way.
AdoramaTV presents Photo on the Go with Joe McNally, where you'll go behind the scenes to see how great photos are made.
Umbrellas are two-edged swords, right? They're nice and wrapping, and they scatter light and make it soft and fall all over the place, and sometimes that's a great thing. The other side of that situation, of course, is that they're not particularly controllable. They spread to a background, they spill and splash all over the place. Well, I'm going to talk in this segment about taking a shroud or a covering on an umbrella and turning it into something that looks far more like a softbox, which gives you a very controlled light up front and also has the corollary benefit of not spilling to the background. So we're working in the studio, and I've got an umbrella. I have this beautiful model, Jasmine. She's up front here, okay? My camera angle's right here. And my umbrella is, as usual, on a C-stand up in here and projecting this way, and the umbrella surface is right about there. Now, if I use that entire umbrella surface with my background back here, not all that far from her, what's going to happen? The speedlights will radiate through this umbrella, light her quite nicely and sort of broadly, but it will also spill directly to the background. So the last thing I want to do is, have light on the background that I'm not controlling. I want to make that background a little moodier in this particular instance. So what I did was I used the 8-in-1, the Lastolite 8-in-1 umbrella, and I covered part of it. And there's a port or a Velcro patch, if you will, in the center of that umbrella. So you put on the black shroud, right? It covers the whole umbrella and turns it effectively into a reflected umbrella, but I don't want to use it that way either. I'm still using it shoot through. So what happens is the entire umbrella is blacked out except for an opening kind of rectangular area right in the middle of the umbrella. And that effectively approximates a small controlled softbox. As you can see from the picture of the model, there's a very definitive cheek shadow and a dark background. So in other words, that simple apparatus right there is cutting the flow of light and directing it or localizing it right on my subject. Hi, Joe McNally here for Adorama. Be sure to check out Adorama's latest contests to win prizes. Okay, this umbrella is not huge, okay, but it's got this, which is pretty wonderful. You can do this with it, okay, and therefore control it so that, as you can see in the photograph that I created in the studio there, it really doesn't spill the way lots of umbrellas spill, which is, characteristic of an umbrella light is sort of the shape of it, the parabola, the fact that there's no backing on it. Light goes everywhere. As I say, sometimes not a bad thing, but in this instance, I wanted to control it more. So the 8-in-1 was a great solution. This is Joe McNally talking to you about controlling and shaping your umbrella light in the studio.
Do you want great looking prints at low cost? Be sure to visit our easy-to-use online printing service. Adorama Pix has professionals who treat your images with the utmost care that you can count on. For a quick turnaround on photos, cards, or albums, use AdoramaPix.com.